Everybody keeps telling me I should record my podcast as a video to put here on YouTube, and I have tried that in the past, but for some reason, I cannot seem to talk to the camera and the microphone and look at my computer and all of that and make it actually jive. So I have decided I'm going to give it a shot and I'm going to just practice. And so here we go, YouTube. One of the biggest complaints I hear from homeschool moms is that they cannot seem to both homeschool and keep their house clean. And I can attest to the fact that it is actually kind of a difficult feat to balance those two. And that's because as a homeschool mom, you're getting out a lot of stuff. And then you also have to figure out how to be a homemaker with all of this stuff. It's not like you can just put it away. You need to have everything out, and then you need to be focused on homeschooling, and then you need to be focused on cleaning your house. And it just seems like it's very difficult to find places to clean your house in between the homeschooling or to homeschool in between the cleaning your house. And so this podcast is going to be all about how to find the time to clean as a homeschool mom. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Raising Arrows podcast. I'm Amy Roberts from raisingarrows.net, and this is episode number 153, How to Find Time to Clean Your House as a Homeschool Mom. Something I want to share with you real quick is that everything I'm going to tell you in this podcast comes from this book, Home Management for the Homeschool Mom. I wrote this book several years ago when I wanted to be able to share with other homeschool moms how to keep their house clean as they homeschool, because it is a totally different animal from being just a stay-at-home mom and not having to homeschool, or being a working mom and cleaning the house after work. It's a different way of managing your home. And it seemed like none of the blogs, none of the YouTube videos, none of the podcasts out there were addressing the fact that we live a very different life as homeschool moms, and we need a different way of doing things. And so I wrote this book, Home Management for the Homeschool Mom, in response to that need. So this is actually going to come from chapter 12 of this book. This book is available on my website at raisingarrows.net/store, or it's also available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. I will have those links in the description so that you can go get a copy for yourself. So as I said, one of the biggest complaints that I hear from homeschool moms is that they can't figure out how to keep their house clean and how to homeschool at the same time. They are certain that one must be sacrificed for the other, and they just can't seem to get it all to work in their heads. And like I said, I absolutely understand that. It took me several years to get into a groove that made sense. And then sometimes that groove changed because of circumstances, more kids, another baby, a move. Things change, and so you have to adjust your schedule as those things change. But I'm going to give you some guidelines to go by so that you can kind of think through your own current circumstances and try to figure out when is the best time for you to clean as a homeschool mom. Obviously, the first thing you need to take into account is the personal needs of yourself and your family. You may not be in a season when you can clean in the morning right after you get out of bed. You might be nursing a baby, you might have a lot of small children that you need to take care of, but you also need to consider your own personality. Are you almost paralyzed by clutter or things laying around in the kitchen to the point where you couldn't cook breakfast if there was too much laying around? That's quite possible as well. So you really have to consider, who am I? What's my personality like? What are my circumstances currently? And what are my family's needs when you're trying to come up with a good time in your day to fit in cleaning up the house? So I'm going to give you just a few instances of different times of cleaning and why that might be a good fit for your family. So let's just start at the top. Cleaning your house in the morning. So guess what? My light that I was using to kind of try to add some light here while I sit recording my podcast, because my mic is here on my desk, is driving me crazy because every time I move my hand, there's a shadow. I do not have the correct lighting, but guess what? I'm just going to get rid of the lighting and we're just going to keep on doing this. So here you are learning with me. I need to do something different about lighting. Mental note. All right, moving on. Okay, we'll start at the top with why you might want to clean in the morning. The first reason is very personality based or family needs based. You or your children need things to be somewhat tidy in order for you to function as a homeschool mom or for them to function as homeschool students. So perhaps you need to take some time in the morning and just tidy things up, clean certain areas of the house. I actually have a whole podcast series on different ways of cleaning the house as a homeschool mom, and so you might want to check that out. But it might just be that personality wise, you kind of need a clean slate for the day. So you want to put that cleaning at the top of your day, not your homeschooling at the top of your day, but the cleaning at the top of the day. It also might be that mornings are easier for you to get a quick clean in. Perhaps the baby takes a nap early in the day, or it's summertime and that's when it's cool outside, so you can send the kids out to play while you do some cleaning. Perhaps it's best for your schedule. Maybe you have a more full afternoon than you do in the morning, or maybe you get up before your kids quite a while before them and you can kind of knock out some things. I don't know. There could be all kinds of reasons why morning would be a better time for you to clean. And in some seasons, morning has been a better time for me to clean than others. There actually was a season where things were kind of chaotic and I needed a little bit more of a clean slate than I was getting. And so we would do the cleaning in the morning. And that was when I did our daily cleaning list where we only cleaned certain areas by the day. So like Monday would be dusting and Tuesday would be floors, and on and on and on. And so we would just knock that out before school, and then the kids would start their schoolwork. And back then, I don't believe we were doing a morning time all together either. So I would actually assign the chores to the kids who were old enough to do chores. There were maybe 2, maybe 4 at the time. There weren't very many that could do chores at the time. And so they would do those chores and then they would start their schoolwork. And that was how our day ran. So almost as if the chores were part of the school day. That's kind of how we were putting it together. It was almost part of their checklist for their school day. And so they did their chore and then they went on and started their independent schoolwork. Okay, so what about an afternoon clean? That seems like a really logical time to clean. Perhaps you're doing school in the morning and your kids do their best work in the morning and your brain is functioning well in the morning. And so instead of trying to clean in the morning, you clean in the afternoon. Perhaps that's when the baby is taking a nap and you have a little bit more time and space to be able to do some cleaning. Maybe your family sleeps in. That would be my family. And so you don't want to get up and clean in the morning because you don't want to wake them up, or they're just not awake enough to help you either. Maybe you don't like a lot of vigorous activity in the morning. Maybe you like more of a slow simmer morning. And so you don't want to be cleaning in the morning. You'd rather do that in the afternoon after you're more awake, you've had some coffee and you've gotten on with your day a bit. And maybe you find that your afternoons are a little slower and have a little more margin in them where you can actually do some cleaning. Or maybe you have other morning activities like therapy or something that takes you out of the house, like piano lessons consistently in the morning. And so that does not make sense to try to put any sort of cleaning schedule into your morning hours. If that's the case, then afternoon hours might be a really good choice for you. And then finally, let's not forget the evening hours. There is a chance that that might be the best fit for you. Perhaps your husband works nights, and so after he goes to work is a fine opportunity for you to go ahead and knock out some cleaning. Maybe your kids are all night owls, and so they can help you in the evening. Or maybe they all go to bed early and you're able to get some peace and quiet and clean while they're in bed. Or maybe you just feel like your day is too busy, too crammed full of stuff for you to choose any other time. And the evenings are when things are a lot slower and you can kind of do some cleaning then and not feel rushed. Ultimately, one of the great things about cleaning in the evening is that you will tend to wake up to a clean home in the morning, which gives you that clean slate for whatever it is you are doing in the morning. Now, before you think that I'm advocating that you only clean at a certain time every single day, let me share the fact that we do several 15-minute tidies throughout the day. We also have table chores where the living room gets cleaned up as well as the dining room and the kitchen. So we are cleaning and tidying throughout the day. I'm talking more about the dusting, the mopping, the vacuuming, the deeper cleaning, the decluttering, things like that. When do you fit those things in? I would highly recommend you try to institute some table chores and also some tidying up and give them some sort of reward after that. So for us, the tidy up time is usually about 3:45, and at 4 o'clock, they're allowed to watch some shows, and that's their reward for doing a 15-minute tidy up. And that's the way it has been for years and years and years. And it just gives them a reward for making sure that things are cleaned up. It also makes it where I can start dinner and things are tidy and calm. Now, you could switch between mornings and afternoons and evenings throughout the week, depending on the day and depending on what you have in your day. However, it is very difficult to make a routine that keeps changing. It's very difficult to hold to a routine that on Monday is in the morning and on Tuesday it's in the afternoon and then on Wednesday you can't do it at all, and you just are not going to be able to build a routine on something that you have to think that much about. Honestly, for me, if I have to think about what day of the week it is, I'm probably not going to stick to it. It really has to be every single day. This is what we do at this time. And then I don't even think about it anymore, and it becomes autopilot. It becomes a routine. It does not become something that I have to have decisions made or think about or, concentrate on the calendar or the clock. It's just at this time of day, this is when we clean. And it's kind of the same thing that I advocate for homeschool routines is start at an approximate time and always start with the same subject, and that becomes an anchor. I have a video on YouTube here about anchoring your homeschool and what those anchors look like. I may have a podcast about that too. I'll link those in the description. But those anchors are incredibly important. I also have a free class where I talk about those anchors, and that's just to help you build a better homeschool day. And so I'll link to that as well. You really ought to take that free class and just help you to get a good start on your homeschool day and make a good solid routine. So hopefully that gives you some ideas about when you should clean as a homeschool mom, when would be the best time for you and your family and your circumstances, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, whether you implement some extra little tidy up times in there. Personally, for us, we do a big deep clean on Friday mornings. We do those regular table chores and tidy up times throughout the week. And beyond that, I'm really not doing anything else. But like I said, over the years, there have been different things based on different circumstances. And so I've had lots of different cleaning schedules. You really have to build one. Number one, you can stick to, and number two, that works well with your life and circumstances. All right, friends, that's what I have for you this week. I think the whole podcast YouTube thing is going okay. Let me know what you think, and we will see you next time.